Do you want to grow a crazy productive variety of tomato that is compact and doesn't take up too much space? Hi guys, it's Jan from Melbourne Food Forest. Today I'm going to introduce you to one of our favourite varieties of tomatoes to grow. It's a Siberian tomato and it's a determinate tomato. So most tomatoes we grow are indeterminate, and this is one of the few that are determinate, and I will explain to you what that means and how you can effectively incorporate these into your garden. Now let me show you how much fruit it's got. There's this truss down here, just starting to colour up. Here, look at that. This, there's a whole bunch in that one. Over here, here, everywhere you look, this plant is covered in fruit. Now the reason why I want to talk to you about this one is because it's a determinate variety. So most tomatoes are indeterminate, and what that means is that they grow wild and crazy. They have no end, so they're not, it's what the term indeterminate means. It doesn't finish. So it will keep growing laterals out of the armpits. It'll get taller and bigger, and it'll form new heads and new shoots and new stems, and each new stem will form its own new heads and shoots, which is why it's important to stay on top of the pruning for determinates, because they go wild, they go crazy. This tomato, on the other hand, this Siberian variety, is a determinate tomato. And in fact, there's not that many determinate tomatoes on the market. If you look at most of your seeds that are available, most tomatoes are indeterminate. Determinate is the opposite. It truncates, it naturally prunes itself. So it's what's often referred to also as a bush variety, as this is. You can see I've not pruned this really at all. With determinate varieties, you let all of the laterals, so the little side shoots that form in the armpits, like these, you let all of these grow. You don't pinch any out because it's going to naturally truncate. So you can see it's quite short and it's quite bushy. So we've staked that with a couple of wooden stakes and a small tomato cage, and that's just growing in this wine barrel here, and it's sharing the space with a French marigold, a stunning rosella plant that's just flowered, a couple of Malabar summer spinaches that are climbing up. So you can see how much you can grow in a pot. So this is a wine barrel, and if you've got a small space, you could put this on your balcony, on your patio or courtyard, just outside your back door. And this little tomato plant, has about 5 kilos of fruit on it, and it's not done yet. It's still producing new shoots, but it will eventually truncate and finish. So overall, it's said that you get less fruit off a determinate plant, but I have found that they are super productive, because an indeterminate plant that's not well looked after will probably only give you one flush of fruit, and you'll actually get less than this. This is so much easier to manage. It self-prunes, it stays in check, and is a wonderful variety to grow for small spaces. It's called Siberian because, as its name suggests, it's very cold tolerant. So you can get it started early in late winter, and it will also produce well into late autumn and early winter. So you could almost do a second sowing of these seeds, or take a side shoot off this, plop it in water and propagate another plant, which I will be doing shortly, because I want to keep growing this well into winter. And I'm going to pop one into the greenhouse. It's so compact. You can squish determinate varieties between other plants, and if you've always found tomatoes to be wild and crazy and take up too much space, well, you've got to try a determinate variety. We grow two types, Siberian and Rouge de Marmande. They're our mainstays every year because they're compact and productive. This is our other determinate tomato variety. It's a Rouge de Marmande. You can see it is growing very compactly between two arches covered in pumpkins, a bull's horn capsicum at the front, and between many other plants. It's just sitting between the arch. It's not too tall. It's a bush variety. Tiny compact plant studded with fruit. There's more on the way, and we haven't had to prune this at all, so it naturally stays neat. So determinate varieties are wonderful if you want a low maintenance tomato, which you don't have to be pinching out laterals all the time. You don't need a tall trellis. Lots more fruit, lots more. You just need a stake or a tomato cage, like we've got ours in. You can make your own. And ridiculously productive for such a small plant. I hope that's helped you understand the difference between determinate and indeterminate tomatoes, and has encouraged you to think about incorporating some determinates into your garden.